All right, so last we left off the jQuery UI accordion. We made a little bit of parallels to the tabs, and really the tabs are very similar, but there's definitely some differences. Well, accordions automatically, jQuery UI would figure out what content needs to go in, and we would facilitate if it didn't. With tabs, it's completely different. We actually tell it explicitly what will be in each tab. So let's see how it's done. And by the way, one of the main reasons is because tabs usually have external content, and it's not content that's baked inside of the page using AJAX. So to do it, basically, let's start off with updating our tabs, our page title to be tabs, and we're going to delete the accordion. Once we do that, literally all that we have to do is make sure that we have buckets of information. And in this case, we do. So let's say we want the first layer to be the topic 1, and then this topic 2 and 3. So we have an ID because we need to have a way to access it. And lucky for us, we already prepped that in advance in the accordion section. Now, next step for us is we need to create the menu itself, and the menu itself is created using an unordered list. Once we create that unordered list, that basically, if you again recall from our course on working with menus, the video on menus, you will recall that basically the way a menu is built is literally the exact same way the way you create a menu for the tabs. Now, in the link themselves, because we're referring to internal elements, I'm going to start with a hashtag and then the ID of whatever area that I want to link to, such as topic 1. I'll give it also a topic, so I'll give it a title, such as Why Us. And I'm just going to duplicate this process also a couple of times to the next two items that we have. So we have our topic 2 and topic 3. And I'm just going to grab that our value is number 2 and fill the information up. And in our last one, our last pitch, we will find that as well and add that into our third step here. And literally, we created everything we need to do from the HTML's perspective to create a completely valid and a car alarming in the background is always nice, but hopefully it stopped. Good. All right. So there we go. So we basically created our content, and we created basically hyperlinks that could take us to those specific elements. Literally, all that's left for us to do is to basically activate it by calling our tabs, just as we've done before with other components. So let's do it with our tabs element, with our tabs widget. So I first want to approach our topics, and then I want to make it a tabs by calling the tabs function and rendering it. Time for us to render, refresh our page. We'll probably have here a small little error. Let's open the debugger to see what it is. So let's see, we don't have here any noticeable error. So let's go to our code. We might have not saved it. I'm going to click on save again. Everything here looks to me okay. Oh, I didn't put here a hashtag. So there was no error because there is no such thing as a tab topics. It just didn't call it. But that's one of those sneaky stuff with JavaScript that you could very easily not notice. So literally just because we didn't put the hashtag to call our topics, it didn't work. So I'm going to save that and go back into our application. And we could probably close the debugger because we wouldn't find that information in the debugger. Click on refresh, and there we go. Now our tab system is working. So before we wrap up this video, let's add one more really exciting, cool thing that you could do with tabs, like we talked about earlier, that you could actually add in live data from external source using AJAX. And you don't even need to know AJAX, which is probably one of the coolest part of this. So literally, you want to go to that menu. You don't even add anything in. All you have to do is just create another menu element. And in that menu element, you could literally add external content. So let's say for this example, let me add my website. And let me put my website's title right up there. And let me also add another link to my, let's say, my Twitter account. So my Twitter account. And that's it. That's all I had to do. And I just added another 2 submenus. So if I click on to refresh, I'll see that now I have the 0 to geek and the 0 to geek attribute strudel. If I click onto it, literally it's just going to load inside of our tab the whole website. If you click onto the 0 to geek, it should load in Twitter. So it's going to take it a little bit of a while, and then it'll load it, or it'll have an error. And if it has an error, it won't succeed. But in this case, it succeeded, and it actually loaded it in. And because it's trying to log me in, so we can't even see our pages. So let me just click on there to get rid of that. And there you go. So that's literally all you need to know, the basics of tabs, the basics of all the jQuery components. And I hope you explore them and enjoy them as much as I did, and as much as I hope you had a good time in this section.